Check out the brand new How to Become a Better Looking Man course by using the links below. Okay guys, I hope you can hear me. Welcome back to another video. Obviously a different type of video. We're in the car today. I thought I'd just go on a little drive because although it looks sunny outside, it just really isn't. It's freezing, and as you guys know, I do a lot of videos from the garage, and if the weather's not good, then I'm just sat there with like 2-3 coats on. So it's actually a big reason, guys, why I'm moving to that penthouse as well, because getting content done has just been like a giant pain in the ass this winter. Last year I didn't really care, but this year obviously I've made a lot more money, and I was like, why am I suffering? Like, I'm suffering for absolutely no reason, and it just felt so stupid. Sorry if it's a bit bumpy there, guys. It's obviously like a first time testing it out, but see if you could see some of these views. They're pretty incredible. I think it's okay. Seems to have like a slight shock absorber effect. I hope you guys can hear me. What I've done is I've just put it on like a sucker on the windscreen, and then I've put on like this weird lens. It's almost like a wide-angled like attachment that just clips onto the front of the phone. So it seems to look good. My danger was that the normal phone camera would be too close to my face, and it would just make everything look a bit stupid. So I hope it's all okay. The lighting's obviously not amazing, but I don't know if it's legal to drive around with lights just blasted on my face. Neither is it safe, so we definitely won't be doing that, guys. But I thought I'd just do this and just make like a normal standard video and just do it whilst driving along. So like I said, hopefully you guys can hear me. But the topic of discussion, and we got the world's slowest person in front of us, so this is you know, we got some time to stop and think about this. But the topic of discussion is, if you're a man, you should feel extremely lucky that you are a man, okay? And I'll explain why. It's no secret, obviously on my channel I give, you know, women in general, but beautiful women, a lot of shit, because I'll say, oh, when they're 18, life is given to them, they're immediately beautiful, they've got everything that they'll ever need. And as a man, you have to struggle. Of course, you have to build your way up. And I'll often make the point that as a woman, you get to around about 26, 27, 28, and the tables just start to turn, and you start to realize, shit, actually, that value that came to me naturally, now the guy is kind of taking it from me, and all the guys my age are now outranking me, all the tables are turning, and I'm seeing the first signs of that happening. Or she gets rejected for the first time ever, okay? You know, it can be something as simple as along those lines. We are going so slow here, aren't we, guys? What are we going? 15 miles per hour. Fantastic. But the one thing that I never ever really mention, probably because none of us want to really associate with these women, you know, and I don't mean this to be a prick, but I don't really ever think of like the ugly women, okay? And this is what should make you so happy that you are a man, because women are valued on their beauty. Like 95% of the like total overall value that they're like kind of evaluated on by men, other women, etc. You know, in the workplace it can be different, but in general life, being beautiful helps, being sexy helps. You know, I think we can all agree upon that. Imagine now being a woman who is ugly from 18 onwards. She just didn't have it. Do you know what I mean? She gets in shape, she does all the squats and everything, like does all of the cheat codes, and she just still doesn't look good. And apart from doing the whole like Kylie Jenner thing where she goes and drops like 3, 4, 500,000, we've got a slow car and a bike on a corner. Are we risking it, guys? We are. We're fucking going for it. Yeah, apart from doing like the Kylie Jenner thing with like 4, 5, 600,000, 1 million pumped into her body with plastic surgery, she hasn't really got a hope in hell. So what's the answer for her? Well, she just settles, you know, she just goes for a lower level guy, an uglier guy. Like, she learns her level early on in life, and she can improve, she can try and make the best of herself, but it's so difficult. It's just so difficult for her. There's not a lot she can do, like I said. But for a man, and this is why it's so beautiful to be a man, and this is why the video that I made all those years ago about any man can go from a 1 to a 10 is so pivotal. It's probably top 5 most important videos that I've ever made. And you got to think to yourself, okay, like I said, if you're an ugly woman, there's not a lot of hope in that sense, in terms of like ever reaching the top, peak value, all this stuff. You're not gonna have a bad life, still have a great life, but it's just not as good as it could possibly be for some woman who's beautiful. As a man, you could be born broke, ugly, you know, your parents weren't really good with the diet thing and you were kind of out of shape, you never really played sports and all that other shit. And it just led to a scenario where you were starting from like 1 out of 10. Do you know what I mean? You just had no value. You were just like the sloppy bum guy. No girls at school wanted you. You weren't cool. You know, all this other shit. But this is the great thing about being a man, is like, yeah, you can be handsome. Yeah, you can be tall. Yeah, you can, you know, have all those things, and they're bonus features. They're fantastic for you. But as a man, you don't need to be drop dead gorgeous. As a man, you could easily go out into the world. I say easily, but you get what I mean. You can go out into the world, just start making 6 figures a year, okay? I say just start making like it's easy, but you guys get my point, okay? It might take 5 years or so, but you end up making like 6 figures and putting some things together, okay? You buy a couple of assets, whatever. You put on a really nice suit. You can buy some really nice clothes. You get in the gym. You get down to a low body fat percentage. And this is the thing about men, okay, in terms of looks. Like a handful of men, like Marlon Brando, you know, you get David Gandy, probably like Jeremy Meeks. It's like a real small handful of men that are genuinely beautiful, do you know what I mean? Like handsome guys that you can look at and be like, oh, he's got Greek god level features, you know what I mean? But the rest of us, we're just a bit of, you know, muscle in nice clothes, a nice car and some low body fat. You know, keep your skin pretty good and your hygiene decent, and for most women, they're like, he's fucking gorgeous, he's what I want. So in that sense, what I'm saying is, if you're an ugly woman, you can't really make those improvements unless you drop like $1 million on surgery, the whole Kylie Jenner thing. But as a man, like, no man is ugly. No man has concrete status, is what I mean. So if a woman is like a 2 out of 10, she might push that with hard work to a maximum with makeup of 4, okay, on her best possible day at 22 years old at her peak. As a man, you could be a 1, right? And with all the things that I just forementioned, submental exercises, all this other shit, because we don't need high cheekbones, we just need a nice jawline. Do you know what I mean? It's not, whereas for women, if they don't have high cheekbones, they just don't look that good. There's like, it's easier for us in that sense. And you could just do all the things that I mentioned and, you know, work on yourself as much as you can. And before you know who you are, you've brought yourself from like a 1 to an 8. It's, do you know what I mean? As a man, it's just so much better. As a woman, you're just in this scenario where your value isn't, it's not completely concrete, you know, with surgery and stuff like this now, and girls getting lip fillers and, you know, fucking arse surgery and filling in the gaps in their hips and shit like that. Yeah, it's changed the game slightly, it's made things a little bit different, but, you know, as a man, you can just go out there and you can do tangible things. Like, you can actually go and build a business. You can, you know, most women are in shape at 18 anyway. Do you know what I mean? That's like their body, that's like their final version of their body. And what are they going to do? Go and improve that? But like, it's developed, it's there. Whereas as a man at 18, it's like, you're probably 10 years away from your perfect body. You need to go and hit the gym. You need to get your puppy fat gone. Do you know what I mean? Women store fat in all the right places. We store it in our face and our belly. It's just, there's different rules for us. So the point I'm making is, if you ever sit there and you're an ugly guy, or you're a broke guy, or you're out of shape and all this shit, and you're thinking, oh, it's all right for you, it's all right for, you know, you've got this, you've got that, or I look at another guy, oh, he's tall, I wish I had that sort of shit. Just remember, it could be way worse. You could be an ugly woman, and like I said, an ugly woman, there's not really a lot of ways out. She's kind of like stuck. She'll never be lonely, but there's not really a lot of ways out for her. Do you know what I mean, guys? Like, she's kind of stuck with that value. She's kind of stuck at that level. Whereas you as a man, if you go out there and you go and put 5-10 years of work in, you're only going to be like, let's say 10 years of work at 16, you're only going to be 26 years old And as my rule always says, 26 years old is pre-season for men. You know, your life hasn't even started yet. You're not even in the game yet, guys. You know what I mean? Like, it's for a man, like at the earliest possible level, 28 is when your life properly starts. And for most guys, it's 30 or beyond. So, you know, you've got time to waste. These women haven't. So she could go and get all the surgery. If she was an ugly woman, she could go and get surgery and everything. She'd go and work on herself relentlessly. By the time she puts it all together, she's probably going to be like 28 years old, and you know, nature's taking its course anyway and making her look worse, so she's fighting against that as well. Whereas as a man, it's only going to help you. You're only going to look better. You've got time on your sides. Like I said before, guys, just one of my most important statements ever: any man can go from a 1 to a 10. I truly believe that. I truly believe I would say I've done 2. I was a 2. I remember saying that I was a 2. I thought I was a 2. I was tall, so it might have been different. But I thought I was a 7 when I was lean last year. So I think I'm probably an 8 now because of the wealth, the life setup. I'm in much better shape because I'm about as lean as I was last year, but I'm way bigger, like 5 or 6 kilograms bigger. So, and most of that's gone in my legs, but a bit in the upper body. Obviously I got the penthouse, the car and whatnot, so I'd say maybe I've clawed an 8 out of 10 here. And I'm not talking about just looks, okay? Some people might be like, oh, if you know, Wheat Waffles did like a face review or something like that, you wouldn't be as... Look, I'm talking about as a collective. And I'm also, guys, I'm a very real guy, okay? For example, this whole video, I'm recording it in one take. Like, people often ask, like, you can see now, like, how is this not one take? Unless I watch this back and there's like something that I need to change or whatever, but it's usually in one take. But I'm a real guy, okay, and I'll tell you the truth every single time. I'm walking around at the moment and the female attention is unbelievable. Like, it's intense. And I'm not the best looking guy in the world, I fucking know that, but I'm 6'2", I'm pretty jacked, I'm low percentage body fat. I think I'm about 12 now. Yesterday I was about 12. I was looking in the mirror, doing the eye test, and I've obviously been around the industry for years, so I was like, yeah, I think I'm about 12 now. It seems pretty accurate. I think I've made the best of like my looks and stuff. I look pretty good. There's still some fat to come off here from the bulk, but I feel like I look pretty good. I've got, you know, I've got a lot of confidence because my assets are going up and stuff like that, and the female attention is just through the roof. Like, it's a collective thing. It's an energy, it's a confidence, it's your build, it's the masculinity. I'm a 29-year-old man now. Like, I'm prime meat for these women. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I've been judging it. Like, along the way, it's just female attention. It's the easiest metric in the world. Like, oh, are you quick at running? Well, do you win races? Yeah, I win every race I'm in. Well, you're quick at running, right? It's not bang accurate, but it will tell you a few fucking things. You know, are you a good fighter? Well, do you win fights? Yeah, I've won a few fights. Okay, well, you're probably a good fighter. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very easy to do. And if you want to know if you're climbing up that ranking from a 1 to a 10, is your female attention going up? Yeah, okay, well, you know, you're probably getting better. Are there... Jesus Christ. This is the problem about driving around in the country, guys. It's just so hard to fucking get out of places in a big car. Parking this thing has been a nightmare. But yeah, so if you've got beautiful women, or let's say the standard of women as well. So if you've got what you would class as 5s that are interested in you, then you're probably not, you know, you're probably at like a 4. You're probably a 4 level, or well, you're probably a 6 because women only date up. Okay, I went the wrong way there. Yeah, so you're probably like a 6 out of 10 or whatever. So, you know, if you start seeing 7s that are looking at you, you're probably like an 8 or a 9 or whatever. Like, it starts to go up. Once you get like the hottest women looking at you, you're just top 1% man. It's almost impossible not to claim that because your level of competition just isn't really there. Do you know what I mean? The 9s and 10s have to take you. But I'm in a scenario now where I think I would say 7s comfortably, because that was last year. I've got a lot of 8s kind of interested looking at me. The top level, like most beautiful women that are dating like millionaires and rappers and all that shit, footballers, I'm not there yet. So I would say just below that bracket. So, but I haven't really tested it either. It's one big thing about life setup. It's like I'm just looking at it from, oh hey, she smiled, she spoke to me, she talked, like came over. like she's liking my pictures and stuff like that. But if I properly went into it with live setup, do you know, it took me a week to realise I had a 6th gear on this car, guys. It took me 1 week. That's how poor I was living before this shit. That's how broke I was. I didn't even know 6th gear existed on cars. I was so broke. I did, but you know, not on the cars I was driving. But yeah, I would just say that I'm at like an 8 level. I think as a man, I just think that's the level I'm kind of at right now. And the life setup that I would put in place, you know, like better. This, for example, just driving along in the car and having a chat, it's so much better than the cold garage I was in. Because if I were to post that on socials, it would be like, oh, this guy's a bum, he's not living a cool life. But if you're driving around in a nice car, going to cool locations, like if I was vlogging my life, you know, I just had like a week off where I went to so many different cool places, meals, you know, so many like funny moments. If I had somebody documenting that whole thing, what is going on with this road? If I had somebody documenting that whole thing and I put that out on socials, you know, obviously the female attention would be like, wow, this guy's got a really cool life. And obviously the woman that I was with is like probably an 8 out of 10. Obviously that brings attention as well and stuff like that. So, you know, anybody can change, guys. And that's what I'm saying, is I've probably gone from like a 2 to an 8. And it's only going up. Like, I'm only 29, I think. Give me like another 2 years and I think I'll be a top 1, maybe a year, I'll be like a top 1% man. I think I'm probably in the top 5 to 10% now. You know, in terms of earnings, body, height, penis size, assets, stuff like intelligence and stuff like that. I'd probably have to claim top 5%, guys, as a collective, because I don't think many guys, like 1 in 10 guys are on that level. No, I don't think they are. So, you know, 1 in 20, well, it's tough, isn't it? It is tough, because you think 1 in 20 guys that I can think off the top of my head just aren't on that level. So, you know, who knows? But I don't think it'll be long. I think 1 more year and I'll be in the top 1%, which is then, as a man, because it's such a small bracket, you're going to have to claim a 9 or a 10. So, as a collective, that, you know, it can happen. And it's just nice to do proof of concept, you know, like I said. And anytime you're feeling down, guys, anytime you're feeling like, fuck, I really need to like improve my life, but it's not going well, like I've got the shitty genetics and all this stuff. Remember, you're lucky, you're a man. If you're a woman, it's kind of game over at that point, which is, it sucks, but do you know what I mean? You're one of those girls that just gets used for sex and then nobody ever wants to have a relationship with. The only guy she can attract is low level, and she knows that, she learns that early on. That's horrible, you know, but as a man, you can learn all that shit and then go, okay, I'm going to do something about it. So you've got options, you know, guys. You can make that change. You can work like I did on multiple areas of life. I wish I could show you that view. It's beautiful. It's a view of Cheltenham, this place I'm moving to. I'm going to do like 2 days, maybe more, but it's like 2 days of intense moving, do you know what I mean? Where I've got to get everything from the car into the penthouse. And I'll guide you guys through what I'm going to do, what I'm going to put in there, the vibe I'm going for, what I'm going to make it look like. There's a podcast coming soon. That camera is bouncing like fuck. What is up with this road? The podcast is coming soon. It's going to be like a blend of Fresh and Fit and Joe Rogan. So like Joe Rogan's level of professionalism and kind of topics and whatever. But then an element of Fresh and Fit where we have like 8 seats, groups of people on the podcast at one time, and it won't be like 6 girls from OnlyFans, you know what I mean, guys? Like I'm not like, maybe once, but it's going to be more like we're going to do a discussion on hair loss or testosterone, and I'm going to go and get 6 or 7 testosterone experts, one who's a gym guy, one who's an expert who's got his own TRT clinic, you know, stuff like that, right? A doctor, and then we all sit there as like a group and we all discuss certain things. It's like today's testosterone topic, we're going to run through it, we're going to talk about how to improve it, and just get multiple people on. I think it's a pretty good idea. But I'm going to end the video there, guys. I'm going to record another one. I think I've covered everything there. I've got a whole bunch of topics written down on a notepad here. So I'm just going to drive around, just burn through my fuel, which seems silly, but that's the price of content. And we'll take it from there. But that's a good first episode. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you later. Check out the brand new How to Become a Better Looking Man course by using the links below.